this debate. It's a debate that we want to learn from, a debate of impact. We know debaters are always people, or men and women, or ladies and gentlemen of impact. So we are here to see the impact that we shall put in the environment. And our resolution of today states that this House believes that developing countries that have recently discovered oil should not engage in oil trade. And we have two teams. We have the team government and team opposition. We will see them battling and telling us really whether these countries that are developing should not engage in oil trade or they should engage in oil trade. And therefore, I would like to inform you that we shall be having 3 minutes of your speech, and after the 3 minutes, in these 3 minutes, we shall have 1 minute which is uninterrupted, 1 minute interrupted, and 1 minute uninterrupted. Then the reply speakers shall have 2 minutes of their speeches. Allow me to give the podium to the first speaker from Team Government. The stage is yours.
I recognize the presence of everyone in the House. Shabona Mtabesha, my name, the first speaker from Team Government. And we are presenting this resolution which states that this House believes that developing countries that have recently discovered oil should not engage in oil trade. In this resolution, we have something like developing countries. We are meaning that these countries which are in the process of developing. We are meaning when we are talking of recently discovered oil, we are meaning that currently they have known that they have oil in those countries. Engaging, it's like involvement. They are like taking part of that, of engaging in oil trade. Oil trade is selling from, mining of oil, selling and so on. That is oil trade. So, in short, we are meaning that these countries are in the process of discovering oil. They shouldn't engage in selling because of the current situation which we have seen. Currently, according to Vision News published on 2nd January 2025, 70% of Uganda finance has been lost in this trying to engage on oil trade with the low technology, thus leading to low development. So, we are planning to advise all countries which are engaging in this oil trade to first wait, they reach some percentage, like 80, 90% of development in order to engage in oil trade so that they don't fall in this loss. Because our first point which we have discovered that this oil trade has led to environmental degradation. So, environmental degradation comes from when they are mining this oil from the lakes or from where they have discovered from. This has led to environmental degradation and has lowered the quality of our environment. How am I trying to explain this in our development? Imagine they have disturbed the ozone layer there above. It means that in the whole country there will be drought. Drought will disturb people in doing work. Doing work, it means that there will be tiresome, people not do work in a lot of stress, so they will be underdeveloped in that country. So I'm giving a lot of this process in order to see how does this discovering of oil in these underdeveloped countries or the processing developing countries, it is worse in a lot of reasons. So I would like to talk about low technologies and skills. Here meaning that we have discovered that these countries which are currently engaged in this oil discovering or oil trade, they have low technology. Take an example. Since Uganda has known that they have oil, or they have discovered that they have oil on Lake Albert, no development we have seen, but we can see that they engage money to go and discover that oil, and on another hand, they take money to import those oil. So there is no benefit. They have known that there is oil, but there is no benefit because they engage money again to buy imported oil. You are allowed.
Talk about more about the 90% of development that you want the developing countries to reach.
We are talking about 90%. We need the country to reach 90% of the development. Okay, we are meaning like this. The country should have development. And the team opposition, they should know that as we are country, the government should think of the developing country and all the citizens to live in a good situation. So we are basing on development. Let's keep on that. I'll tell you more about that. Let me continue. We are talking about of low technology. As we have said that our plan is to advise this country are still engaging, it means that as they are developing and they have not engaged, they'll be learning. They'll be learning on how to discover oil, how to engage in the oil trade in order they don't lose. So they'll be learning a lot of skills on how they'll do what they will not lose. So dear judges, we are emphasizing on that. These developing countries shouldn't engage in oil trade so that they don't lead to underdevelopment in the country, because this oil discovering or oil mining needs a lot of time, a lot of finance, a lot of it needs a lot of technology, a lot of skills, a lot many things. So they should wait and they discover how they can engage in order they don't lead another problem which we have seen, that price fluctuation. On this point, they will disturb the price of worldwide, because they have not known how they sell that oil, how it is, okay, it is still on the base. So we are advising these countries which are still on discovering oil, they shouldn't engage in oil trade, because they will lead to price fluctuation. Yeah. So I want to continue by saying this. Team government, we have a lot to present, and we are still presenting, but we will still base on our resolution, trying to insist and advise those countries, especially our beloved country Uganda, to not join it or to not engage. They should first learn more on how to discover their own. Thank you so much.
Actually, I was very surprised when I heard something from the government whereby they came and started their plan very well, saying that they are going to wait until those developing countries they reach on the 90% that they want them to reach. But after that, they come again and say that oil mining destroys the environment. What are they really meaning? They are meaning on one side that they're going to use the oil, and on another side they're saying that that oil is going to destroy the environment. So that point does not stand on the team government. They come here and say that environmental degradation. Yes, environmental degradation will be there, but do you think it will be a countrywide? Of course no, it will not be countrywide, because we have trees that are planted in the country. We have a lot of forest in a country like Uganda. First of all, they come here and say that no technology. Yes, we do accept the fact that in Uganda there is no technology, but first of all, first compare when we bring in foreign workers to come and work in Uganda, and first of all, count for the benefits that will come from the oil. It will not reach the money that will be paying these foreigners to come in Uganda. So do you think that point stands on their side? Of course not, it does not stand. They come here and say that there will be price fluctuation because they will not know the price in the market. First of all, before engaging in any trade, we have to make a market survey. Like a country like Uganda, before we engage in oil trade, we have to make a market survey that is worldwide. We have to know the price of oil in worldwide. So that I think that will not lead to price fluctuation. Instead, it will bring a good price for oil, affordable price for every country to buy oil. First of all, we come on table and tell you that we think that we team opposition, we are going to utilize the discovered oil to accelerate development. Our goal, team opposition, is to accelerate development. First of all, as you have stated in the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, that we are planning to do that. No poverty. First of all, when we have discovered this oil and put oil on the market, there will be no poverty, because it will create more opportunities. It will create more opportunities for people. First of all, they will get jobs, these people, and first of all, the oil trade will attract investors. When these investors come, what do you think they will do? Of course, they will have to invest in our infrastructures like roads, factories, and industry.
Yeah.
So don't you think that this will bring more development compared to them? As we are saying that as one of the Sustainable Development Goals, number 1, we are saying that no poverty. We are trying to fight poverty.
Thank you so much. How are you going to fight to create job opportunities? opportunity, yet you are planning to
Actually,
invite investors.
Actually, these investors will come and invest in our infrastructures. Where do you think these infrastructures will be? Of course, they will be in our country like Uganda. Who do you think will work in countries like Uganda? Of course, we citizens, we are the people to work in a country like Uganda. So I don't think that bringing in investors is something like a problem. Instead, it is something very good. First of all, we come on table saying that according to what you have seen, like the statistics, you have seen that all trade is accounting for up to 90% of countries' export earnings. So how do you think about this? And this was published by the OPEC. So according to how they have seen that oil trade, when we export oil trade, the 90% will be increasing on the earnings. So don't you think that this is accelerating the development of the country, as this was said by the OPEC? So we come on board saying that development opportunities, as I've already stated, that this will create more job opportunities since we'll bring in more investors to invest in our infrastructures like roads and industries. So this will create more job opportunities instead of leaving those people, as we are saying that we are fighting poverty. And another thing we are saying about the SDG, that is saying that SDG number 9, that states that industry, innovation and infrastructure. How do you think that we are going to achieve this industry and infrastructure innovation? How do you think that we are going to achieve it? Instead, we should engage in oil trade, because we have seen that this oil trade is on a high demand by the worldwide. So we think that instead of only relying on other things instead of relying on other economic benefits, we should put in oil trade. We come on board saying that economic diversification. What do I mean when I talk of economic diversification? Here I mean that a country like Uganda, which depends on agriculture, actually we shouldn't depend on economy. We shouldn't depend on only agriculture. Instead, we should bring in diversification. Whereby we shall also depend on oil trade. With a country like Uganda, we want to also accelerate, like we are saying that we are fighting poverty in Uganda. Of course, when you talk of economic diversification, if agriculture fails, we shall depend on oil trade, as we have already stated. So I think that engaging in oil trade has not any problem like these developing countries. Of course, we also want to develop like other countries like China and other countries that have already developed. So, I don't think that team government wins the debate, but I think that team opposition wins the debate, because we are fighting poverty, and we are mainly relying on the SDGs, that we are saying that industry, innovation and infrastructure, and we are saying that no poverty, zero hunger. So when we put these SDGs on the table, we shall reach the development, or we shall reach to our sustainable development goals that we are planning. So, panel, allow me to raise my case.
Panel, allow me begin giving you this word of wisdom. Albert Einstein, one of the wise men in the world, wrote and said that you cannot know whether you are lost when you don't know where you're going. We understand we are all running after development, but there is no way you're going to reach development when you don't first sit down and understand. You talk of economic diversification, I understand that, but seeing oil trade, yes, you recently discovered oil in your places, but engaging in this oil, we've seen problems like low technology and low technology to help you. And having that low technology, it's going to be hard for you to access without putting money. So putting that money is not going to develop you, it is going to lower you. That's why we came with a plan saying that let's first develop and then we utilize this oil. Because we should not, then you ask us a question that one side we are supporting oil mining, then one side we are not supporting it, because we bring about environmental degradation. When you are already developed, you are able to fight problems brought about by environmental degradation. But since you are not yet developed, so you need to first think about what is going to be brought about by this oil mining before you see what you are trying to say. Ladies and gentlemen, they talk of job opportunities. I don't see how we shall fight giving our people jobs, then at the end we end losing everything we have. Because we are fighting for development, but now we are losing it. Because if we try to engage in mining this oil, of course you cannot trade it when you have not mined it. We are going to spend a lot of money in those things. After putting a lot of money, now we are going down. Don't you see we are going to go down, yet we want to develop? Ladies and gentlemen, let's see what helps us. You talk of doing a market survey before doing those all, but don't you think doing a market survey will be better if we first develop, then we have everything that we can even help ourselves? Ladies and gentlemen, let me come back to our point. We talk of environmental degradation. We have a country like Uganda, we depend on agriculture, as you say. Now, us depending on agriculture, does it mean if we see oil, we should run after it before even seeing what impact it is going to bring about what we are depending on today? So, starting the process of mining oil right now to the end product of selling it, it is going to take a lot of time. And in that period, what are we going to use? Don't you think we need to depend on our agriculture? And this environmental degradation is going to cause issues in the air, where the ozone layer is going to be affected. And after it being affected, we shall not produce anything, either from plants or animals. And after that comes our judge. What do you think is going to happen? We are going to underdevelop in terms of agriculture, and it is the one which is helping us. Allow it.
You say that you want to develop first, then deal with the environment. How will you account for that?
Thank you so much. You said, we told you that we are going to first develop. We didn't say that we have minerals and then we don't want to exploit them. Why not? They are there to be exploited by us, but we don't see only seeing that minerals should be exploited, but what are the impacts? By now we are not developed, so we want to first develop and have that capacity of exploiting them when they are giving no impact on us, so we live better. Granted.
Tell us that way that you're going to develop.
Thank you. We are developing countries, yes? We have hope that one day we shall be developed. And when we started the process of developing, we are not having that oil. Discovering it in the process does not mean that it is the only way. There is the way we can do things, and at the end we exploit the minerals very well when they have no issues. Ladies and gentlemen, we talk of lies frustration. When you talk about this, we are not fighting for our own development as Uganda. We are fighting for development globally. And there are countries who are developed just because they produce oil. Don't you see, if you also try to bring about your oil, the oil price is going to be low, yet and lead to those countries, and lower prices, after lowering prices, those countries are going to get low income. After getting low income, now you are underdeveloping other countries, thinking that you are developing yourselves. Don't you see it being something about even affecting globally? We talk of low technology and skills. Ladies and gentlemen, Uganda is a country and has recently discovered minerals. But how many Ugandans know how to mine this crude oil? None of them. Now, if we talk of importing foreigners from outside, don't you think that is going to cost us money? Are you sure that money will not be used for other things and we develop ourselves? We are running after development, so we should do it wisely, because still, on what I began with, Albert Einstein also wrote and said that if you blast all, you end up having none. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't see it wise to start mining at this time. Then at the end we regret. Because if we are to mine, we don't say we are going to leave things, because minerals are there and are for exploitation by us. But we need to first think about the issues the minerals are going to bring. So, ladies and gentlemen, with those, allow me to submit.
I have a saying which says that living a life without vision, when shall this end? So they are saying that they are saying that they will cost money when they are bringing foreigners. Yes, they will cost money, but remember, for us, if we engage in those and we bring them and we give them money, after, for us, we will gain double. So, don't you think that also if you put in, you gain more? So we are not saying that we are going to give money and we make loss. No, we are going to give them money so that they come and they share skills with us. So, for example, if they come and they teach us how to extract, that will help us, even they will help the citizens in the country so that they can gain that skill. So you are talking about road development. How does this will lead to road development? Yes, you know that if we are extracting the minerals, we are going to gain more things. For example, our citizens, they will be getting where to work from, and they will be paid. So we are not going to engage in these minerals, saying that we are going to leave other things behind. No, we are going to engage, but also bringing our citizens in that activity so that we can develop. Why do you want to remain behind? yet others are going in fraud. So, you have said about raw technology. Yes, we are around that we have raw technology. But I want to tell you one thing. If you not make a mistake, it means that you have never tried to do a good thing. So here, having a raw technology, it is not our challenge, but we can work in hand so that we can buy all means of transport which can be used in the extraction of oil. So another thing you are talking about, you have talked that changes in prices. How? I want to ask you how? Changes in prices, for example, sit on it. For example, here, if you have your oil and you are going to trade, and that if you are trading to promote cooperation, how can you trade without cooperation within other countries? Granted.
Thank you so much. We acknowledge that there are many sectors citizens they can engage in and get those job opportunities instead of oil.
Okay, let me answer you like this. Yes, they can do, but you should know that if they engage in, they are not. So how can you make someone to work for you and you just leave him like that? No, you have to take care of that person so that he can see the goodness of yours. So another thing we are talking about,
EOI.
sit on it. So allow me to add out our views where we say that developmental opportunities. Yes, we are saying development opportunities because here, swallow it. So, because here we are going to be having many activities in our extraction. For example, we are going to be having the people who are working for us. And another thing, if they work for us, they will be saying that this country which is this and this, it is employing many people. So even also I can go there and I work so that I can get money to use in my sector. So don't you think that even also the businesses will be developed because we are going to be having agents who will be traveling our oil. So why are you talking about that is leading to road development? No, you are wrong. Just search for the way. And another thing we have said that economic diversification. Yes, here we cannot rely on one thing. No. Remember, if you have a plan, you should be having A and B. So that if plan A refuses, that B can work. So don't go with one option. No. Go with double or triple so that you can be saved if you are find that you are in the wrong place. And another thing we have talked about, economic benefits. Yes, I want you to get this very clear. So that economic benefits, I'm saying, first of all, economic, it is activities people do to get money. So if we are bringing this process, you will find that many people they are creating their own businesses, whereby they will be getting. Of course, I think that even the sand can be there because in extracting there are many things we can find there. So we are not meaning that we are going to do this so that others can suffer. No, we are going to share them equally so that they can gain everything. So with those around interesting.
I honor the presence of our dearest judge and the August House. Our dearest judge, I used to hear the saying which says that the end of the road is when you reach inside the house. And I'm saying this to this team opposition. And what am I trying to mean? Team opposition, they are trying to lie the August House by bringing lies, but we are here to bring words that shows that these developing countries should not engage in oil. Our dearest judge and the August House, they talked of the development that we shall reach so that we can mine oil. And what are we trying to mean here? Like when you see Uganda benefits from agriculture. Agriculture is the backbone of Uganda. And how are we saying that we shall first develop? We shall first plant trees on a large scale, and these trees will help in land formation. And when this land formation is made, we will get rainfall. And our crops, we shall plant crops on a large scale so that we can get many yields. And if we sell these crops, we will be able to get money where we can build the refinery. So where this oil is first put so that you can get products from oil. But now you cannot get crude oil and you go to sell it for a country like Uganda when you don't have those things. Our dear judge and August House allow me to rebut on what they said and what they say. They talked of job opportunities. Our dearest judge and August House, I want us to be clear and see on these job opportunities for people like Uganda, they don't know how to mine oil. You will go in developed countries like USA to bring people to teach them on how they will mine it. And this will cost by paying those people. So don't you see that this will be taking the country down by paying those people? Sit on it. They talked of economic diversification, that we should not depend on one thing, but we can even do other things before doing what? Before mining the oil.
We are talking of many job opportunities. Bring state like 5 job opportunities that you think that you can earn much money as oil.
You talked of that if you do this oil, you will do infrastructure, you will do good infrastructure, where you will employ Ugandans and other people. But we are saying that you will not employ these people when you don't first develop. Our dearest judge and the August House, allow me to run on our points. We are talking of environmental degradation. We know that when we mine this crude oil, you will first reach in a place and you see that you have to cut all trees that are in that place. Don't you see that there we are degrading our oil, our soil, whereby we will destroy these trees, and these trees help in land formation. For a country like Uganda, where agriculture is the backbone of it, you will find that we are no longer benefiting on agriculture. Yet even this oil is not on a price where people can get the survival. So we should not mine this oil, but we should wait for a while so that we can first develop and we mine it, sit on it. Another point is low technology and skills. And what are we trying to mean? Like when you see in Uganda, many people don't know how to mine oil. So you will go in countries like USA to bring people and help Ugandans, and you will be paying them. And even in mining these things, you need improved machine, advanced technology. And how will you start it without first developing so that you can get money to pay those people that will teach your countrymen? So we need first wait for a while, and we first develop on a high speed. And after developing things that even if we go in crude oil and even if we don't get things, we cannot go back high. We can maybe divert and do other things, but not doing it and find that in the future we are not getting things and find the country is not getting. We find people are even committing suicide because of poverty. But if we first develop and we engage in oil mining, when we have something, even if we face a challenge of price fluctuations, we can be with our money since we developed earlier, but not engaging in crude oil when we don't have money. Another sad point is price fluctuation. And what are we trying to mean here? You may get this money and you put it in oil, and even if you find that the price has reduced and you will not get money. So our dearest judge and overstaff allow me to tell you.
I honor our dearest judges. One, you should allow me first to disagree with the points mentioned out by the team government. One, they talked of low technology. So I would like to first tell them that low technology won't be there because we shall bring people who are experts in our country to teach us how we can deal with oil trading. So that we also gain the skills. And when we gain skills, what will be an outcome? We shall also make these activities by ourselves, which is a development to us, which will make development to us. Another thing, we talked of price fluctuation. I don't think that price fluctuation will be there because, one, when you want to start a business, you make sure that you make a market survey. And in market survey, we shall deal with how much does other countries are exporting their oil. So that will help us to make a good price where will benefit all the countries. So I don't think price fluctuation will be there. You also say that environmental degradation. So I don't think that environmental degradation will be worldwide. All
cultural. Instead, it will be in one place. So it can't make us not to benefit and develop because we are trying to say that we should not degrade our environment. We should mine and get developed. So I'm wondering what you are saying, that we should wait and first develop. So I would like to tell you that a baby can't manage to walk without crawling. So when you fear to engage in this oil trade, it will make you underdeveloped and you will not develop. So let's engage in this oil trade so that we can develop more. Going our point, one, we talked of economic benefit. So when we engage in this oil trade, it will be a benefit on us, whereby it will make us get jobs, whereby it will be a benefit to us. And another thing, there is development opportunities. This is where I find that in a country there is a lot of jobs. So if one fails maybe in agriculture, can also go in another sector like of this oil trading. So and this one will come up to the situation of eliminating poverty. We shall come to see that poverty will be eliminated since we rely on much of jobs to do so, no poverty will be there. And when we come to see on economic diversification, you are allowed.
Thank you so much. Does Uganda have
Refines. Uganda has no refines, but it will make by all means to go like on Lake Victoria because it can make refines from there. So it will help it make a good income. So I don't think that you should say that we shouldn't engage in oil trade. Instead, we should engage in oil trade so that we develop our country. You are not allowed. When it comes to this point of economic diversification, this means that in a country we have a lot of jobs to do. You are not allowed. For you are basing that in Uganda we normally rely on agriculture as our backbone. But remember that in agriculture can fail. So when it fails, we shall remain underdeveloped. But when we engage in this oil trade, not allowed, there will be a diverse of work. So you find that if agriculture fails, you will go in oil trade like in mining. Then you get a job and you'll be fine. Not allowed. Basing on this point of economic benefit, you find that in a country you make things by yourself, like oil. You don't go and buy oil from other countries. So it will be of a benefit and it will make a country to go higher. By those, I would like to look like this.
Once again, first of all, when you consider a country like Uganda, first of all, we have debts. So how do you think we are going to pay debts while we are relying on one activity? First of all, we are seeing that, as we have made a market survey, we have seen that oil is on a high demand worldwide. First of all, we are going to trade this oil in order to help us to pay the debts that we are having. So we come on board saying that price fluctuation. By the way, do you think that Uganda will remain buying oil on a high price while we have oil in our country? Instead, we should utilize that oil in order, we should not buy that oil on a high price. So do you think that will be a benefit for other countries, or we shall benefit ourselves? Of course, we shall benefit ourselves since we are not going to buy, or we are not going to import oil from other areas. So we come on board saying that, they come saying that agriculture, they depend on agriculture. First of all, agriculture is a long-term benefit. If you want to depend on agriculture, you have to wait for a period of time. But remember, when oil is mined from the area, so do you think that is a long-term benefit? Of course, no. That is not a long-term benefit. Instead, it will bring to a very speedy development, as we are saying that we are fighting poverty. They say that there are many sectors that we have to engage in, but remember, those sectors do not earn much as oil we have seen on market. Since we have made a market survey saying that oil is on a high demand by worldwide, so we should not engage in other sectors. We come on board saying that low technology, but they say low technology, but we say that if there is low technology, we are going to import in foreigners. We are going to import in foreigners that will bring in technology. And remember, they will not go alone. We shall also have to learn the skills. So I don't think that development wins today's debate because they have not shown us any fruit of development. Thank you.
But again, as we try to crash, you rush the we say that Uganda has no refinery. So where does Uganda process that oil? It means that they don't have where they process that oil. So they need to go and export that oil which they mine and import again. That is double money they are using. What if we just import for few hours and as we are waiting for our development, then we finish all at all. Okay, let's me continue and say that. They are saying job opportunities. For us, we are seeing low technology and skills. How do those people get jobs and they have no skills? We are talking about environmental degradation. They are saying they will bring experts. Now, which experts can go in a country with poor weather conditions? We think we win this debate because we are just basing on social, economic, and political importance of our country. Dear Judge, we are continuing. They say that job opportunities which earns more money than oil. They didn't first give us the percentage of oil money they earn. That is the first. But go in education. People are getting 2 million and above, 5 million and above. Go in health. They are taking politics, entrepreneurship. People are earning money. Why are they saying that we are depending on only one activity? Are we not having education sector? We're not depending only on agriculture. So they are saying that they want to diverse the economy through oil discovery or oil mining. Are you not saying that they will be engaging depending on one activity? They are not diversing. For us, we are saying that they should go slowly. That's why I began saying, you rush, you crash. Dear Judge. So Uganda has no refinery to process that oil. They have to use double work. They have to use the money to pay experts. They have to use money for processing, so it will be double work. That will be leading to underdevelopment. And we have a lot of sectors, people are engaging and they are getting money. So why are we just basing on oil? They are not diversing the economy. No, they want to depend only on oil, and that one is not diversing. That's what we think, dear Judge. Government should win because we are basing on all sectors, and we are believing that if we just wait to develop, we will not what? We will not go back in the economy. Agriculture, we are not laying only on agriculture, and agriculture can fail, but we have education. But let me say this. Uganda cuts its oil. We need agriculture.
Thank you so much, the two sides that have participated in the debate. I request the House to chair to this. We had team government and team opposition. Team government had Shogore Mutabesha, Gilmana David, and Wilson Dahayo as the third speaker, with the reply speaker as Shogore Mutabesha. Team opposition had Zawadi Kolo, Elia Birinjiro, and Andre Ikari as the reply speaker, Zawadi Kolo. And I was the judge of today. I am able to that. Now, we used the World Schools debate format. It has three sectors of judgment. There is the style, the strategy, and the content. Then the percentage of the aggregate, or the entire points when you add them together. According to my judgment, I awarded 30 for strategy, 30 for style, and 40 for the content, giving a percentage of 100. So if a speaker convinced me to the maximum, the speaker gets 100%. I would first start by giving comments on what the mistakes that were done by the two sides. Beginning with team government, of course, they were the ones that opened the debate. When you give a status quo is a current situation, something that is happening in the outside world. It might be in the country where you're living, or it might be in other countries far from where you're living, but with the same situation as what the resolution is talking about. Now, our resolution was talking about this House believes that developing countries that have recently recently discovered oil should not engage in oil trade. Now, the first thing I expected was you coming here and clarifying who are these developing countries? Which countries are these that are developing? But you never explained more about it. You just went, we got it in your points. But we expected you to come and highlight some. You give us some examples of these countries that are developing. Maybe you say Uganda, you say Kenya, countries that are developing, countries that are struggling with development. Now, you never did that. But it was a chance for this side to come and show us that, though we never had anything like that from them also. So that was like, it was in the point, or that point crashed down because no one talked on that. If one side had talked on that, maybe it would give them an advantage in the debate. Now, when you give a status quo, you have to give us a source where you got that status quo from. And you give us at least an updated year or the date that this status quo was published. I like the fact that Team Opposition wrote a status quo, but they never gave the year or they never gave the exact time this status quo was published. What if you gave us a status quo of maybe 1990s? How would we believe that? You say oil trade is accounting for 90% of the national export, which is good according to OPEC, but you never gave us when this information was published. Maybe it is outdated, the current situation is different. So the next time you're giving us the status quo, go direct and tell us the exact date. Maybe you say, according to OPEC, maybe research that was conducted on the 1st of October in 2024, it states that the oil trade is accounting for 90% of Uganda's income. Now, what does this mean? Which means that if we engage in oil trade, we shall have an increment in the government's revenue. There you're convincing us that you're talking about a news that was just recently updated, which means we shall be knowing that what you're saying is not a lie, but it's a reality. And you came and gave us plans which were not bad, talked of accelerating development according to the SDGs, gave us examples of the SDGs. Number one, no poverty, zero hunger. You talked of development of the infrastructure and industrial, so many other things, which was good. But I expected you also to base your points on SDGs, at least to convince the House, though team government never came and talked of anything. What if team opposition came and deceived you? You never bothered to disagree on anything they said, which means you were getting convinced of what they said. They came and rebutted on the points. Team government came and gave points of low technology, price fluctuation. The fact that they have low technology in the country, they shouldn't engage in oil trade. They said that, yeah, it's good that you said that. Now, you could have backed it up by giving us at least some requirements for engagement in oil trade. Yeah, you talked of the steps of oil trade. Oil trade begins with extraction of the mineral, which is the oil. After that, you refine it. After refining it now, you take it to the market, which is the world market. Then from then is when you get the benefit, which is earning the foreign exchange. Now, you talked of that well, but you never elaborated more, you never went deep into it. You could give us a backup of every point you said. You talked of price fluctuation, and team opposition came and disagreed on it, that you can't talk of price fluctuation because in business, whenever you're going to start a business, what you do, you first conduct a market survey. When you conduct a market survey, you know at which price is this thing sold and in which place will I earn from. Then you know the exact position to allocate your market. But you never try to rebut on it so much. So that fact stood out for them, which means there will be no low price fluctuation because they will know the exact price to charge. And they also brought in the fact of cost saving. They said that if they engage in oil trade, they will at least reduce the way the government is spending on importing oil from other countries or buying oil from other countries also. They will also be selling, so there will be no need of maybe buying from others, which means they will benefit on their own, which means the country and the citizens will reduce the rate at which the money of the country is being misused. They also gave job opportunities, saying that when that team opposition that when there is a chance of getting job of engaging in oil extraction and oil trade, people will get jobs, people will get employed, which means they will earn money. And then I expected you to come and say, now there is no technology or there is unskilled labor, which means these people will not be able to work in this sector of oil trade. Now, how will that help them? Don't you think that we are creating jobs for foreigners, as they said they will go, as you said, we are going to import in foreigners who were coming in to extract for us the minerals. And they also talked about Uganda not having a refinery. That was a very good point, though they disorganized themselves by saying that, it was the opposition that came and said that Uganda will go to Lake Victoria and maybe get a refinery. I don't know which type of refinery we got from Lake Victoria. And you guys also sat on it, you never disagreed on it, which means you were deceived and you were convinced by the lie that they say. But otherwise, in a debate, let me stop there and I don't talk too much. In a debate, back up your points, prepare yourselves very well. There was one speaker, Honorable Elia. You came here, but because of, I don't know if you lacked enough training, enough preparation, your words or your points were even flying away. You were speaking things and I couldn't know the flow of your speech. You speak and I fail to understand. And also Honorable Wilson, the same thing. I really failed to understand where your speech was going, though you started well. So the next time when you're coming in front for a debate, come when you're well arranged. Then that's when you give your teams a best presentation. Otherwise, thank you so much for the try. It is not that bad. I start by giving the marks, starting by government. Honorable Shambore got 15 on style, strategy 15, and content 35, giving her an average of 65 out of 100. Honorable Bigriman David got 25 on the style. He had a good style of presentation. He got 20 on the strategy. He followed exactly what he was supposed to do. And then content, he got 20. His content was not that much clear, giving him 65 out of 100. Now, Honorable Wilson, as I told you, his content was not well understood, though he started very well, bringing in a saying that drew the attention of everybody to his speech, but disorganized it at the end of it all. Now, Honorable Wilson got 25 on style, 20 on strategy, and content he got 15, giving him 60. The reply speaker, Honorable Shombore, got 20, 20, 20, giving her 60. And then Honorable Zawadi, in opposition side, got 20 on style. She had a good style, got 20 on strategy. She followed all the rules, all the roles of the first speaker, and got 30 on the content part. Their content was somehow understandable, and everybody can witness that everyone understood their strategy, their content, giving her 70 out of 100. Honorable Elia, as I told you before, the next time at least you should organize yourself very well as you're coming in front of people. Relax, take your time to speak. It's not a matter of rapping. Debate is not all about rapping. If it was about rapping, then I would be also rapping. But as you see, I'm also talking in a low pace, which means I don't have that speed of speech. If you don't have the speed of speech, there is no need of forcing it. Let's speak the way you speak. Bring out the content. That's what we need. And always improving on the English, though we don't judge English in debate. What we judge is what you present. But it will be a shame when you bring something and you fail to express it because you fail to understand the words that you have due to lack of knowledge in the language that you're using. So next time we should study very well the topic of discussion. We learn the vocabularies to use so that at least we convince the house. And the house should always cheer when we say something. So I'm talking too much on you because I see you have much potential, but there is still something lacking. But you will try and do better than this. You got 15, 15, 30, giving you 60. Honorable Ikari got 20, 20, 25, giving him 65. Then the reply speaker got 20, 20, 20. I want to talk about reply speech. Reply speech, you come to compare what both teams have brought. And then after comparing what both teams have brought, you weigh it and compare which one stands out and which one weighs less. Now, as a reply speaker from team government, you should support your side and make your side be the one that is weighing higher compared to the other side. But when you're comparing that, you have to connect it back to the resolution. Now, not coming here and saying that as team opposition came and talked of environmental development, they came and talked of job opportunities, and for you said that we brought in low technology. Now, how are these people that you're going to employ going to be able to? How are these people that you're going to employ going to be able to work? And yet there is no technology. There is no technology that will be used in the extraction of these minerals. You should bring that, and after bringing that, you drive it back to the resolution, which means there will still be difficulty in the extraction of this oil, which will force us to go and bring foreigners to work in our country. And when we bring foreigners, what happens? We spend money, yes? And this same money we spend for bringing these foreigners is the same money that we need to use for developing our country. So why don't we first drop this part of the mineral extraction and we concentrate on other sectors such as farming, such as maybe education, such as, there are very many, tourism, and we drop this at least when we reach a higher level of development. When we see that now we are stable, then we shall contact the extraction sites and we extract these minerals, which will just increase the rate at which our countries are developing. Now, when we see team opposition, you guys had good points, and if you were really determined, you would have done better than what you did. Though my verdict, it's somehow fair, but it's not fair on the side of others, of course. There is always one side that will feel favored, that will feel happy for the verdict. And the debate of today, this House believes that developing countries that have recently discovered oil should not engage in oil trade. Team opposition draws for us the conclusion that these people need to engage in oil trade, at least create economic diversification, so that we can have a variety of places to get income from. If there is famine, if there is drought in the country, we shall engage in oil trade. If there is if there is there is a time when we find diseases attack animals, maybe in the wildlife sector, there will be low rate at which tourists come to the country, which means we shall leave the sector of tourism and we first go and also deal on extraction of minerals, which means we shall have various ways of earning, and that will lead to promotion of development. Otherwise, I've talked too much, but I request you two guys to improve. The team that won the debate is team opposition with 265. Team government having 250. So the speaker of today, or the speaker of today's debate, has been Zawadi Kolo. Though I would like to also appreciate others that have participated with her. Let's shake hands and see what comes next.